Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Oh, and a Two of Cups. That is really beautiful energy. That really is a very strong connection with someone or something. Let's put this into some context. Let's see what else we've got going on. I think it's going to come as a bit of a surprise, to be honest. I think we are not expecting this kind of change. It doesn't have to be romantic. I don't want everyone to think this is a romance reading. It could be, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. But I see that it's something we're not expecting. It's something that we almost wouldn't believe if it was not right in front of us, right? Oh, this is good. Fire and earth. You know what I say about fire and earth, right? That's like my favorite combination of energies, right? It's a direct manifestation of something that is just, you're on fire with the passion of it, and we're manifesting it. So this is really a shocking layout here. This surprise connection, and it really does become something unbelievably tremendous. I mean, this is unexpected, and I think it's wonderful. Let's select our mystery card. We're going to use the Smith-Waite Tarot. And this is just one card that we select randomly. We're not going to look at it until the very end. We will put our alien right on top of that card. That is Alien Simon Mork Ripley, the full name for anybody who's curious. Now that card is going to tie everything together at the end, right? It's going to give us that confirmation that we need. All right, so let's look at this a little bit closer. Now, we've got, as far as major arcana goes, the only major arcana we have is this Emperor, this Aries energy. This is very curious to me. This could mean a couple of things. Then we have more fire. We have not a lot of water, but the water we have is really a special kind of water. We have some air, and then we have a few of these, or a lot of earth. It feels very heavy on fire. It feels very heavy on earth, and the air, I think, is something that we're starting out with, which is kind of this feeling of like surprise. It's kind of what we're going to do is, instead of going straight to the Two of Cups, let's go to the Nine of Wands. Let's get this out of the way. I'm sorry, Nine of Swords. Let's get this out of the way. Because the Nine of Swords is a realization about something recently. I feel like you are, it's going to be through this experience, through this surprise connection and all of the potential of it, right? That's going to give you some very powerful insight into a past situation, one that wasn't very good. One that didn't turn out very nicely. One where you probably got hurt. There was a lot of probably angry words going back and forth from this real state of despair, almost, right? And this could be one particular situation, one relationship, one particular job or company, or with a group of people, a relationship of any kind. Okay. It could be a relationship with ourselves too. I think it extends from ourselves into a situation involving other people. But I feel like this was something that we almost thought we wouldn't recover from. You know? This seems like it was a pretty serious thing. These 9 daggers or 9 swords are, they're dipped in poison. This is the blow that keeps on smarting, right? This is the injury that just gets worse. It eats at us. I think that this was something fairly serious. I don't want to go into too many details. I think it's going to be different for all of us. But we all know what this is. And this is that situation that we maybe didn't think we would recover from. Maybe we didn't think that it would, that we would then transition into something so amazing, right? Like this Ace of Swords is really, we're not going to forget about that situation. We're not going to completely disconnect from it, but to go from a 9 to a kind of new start, a new connection, a new beginning with this much potential really puts this into perspective, right? This was a bad situation, and we'll leave it at that. I feel like since this happened, right? I think this was in the past. This may be in the last few years. But I think since this situation ended, since we've gotten away from this a little bit, we might have had this viewpoint here of the 7 of Wands. The idea that, how do I put this? This is a very, very delicate subject. Not that we wouldn't recover, but that we weren't going to take that kind of a risk again. We just weren't going to put ourselves in that kind of a situation by getting involved with something that wasn't a sure shot, wasn't a guarantee. Now, this doesn't have to be a romantic partnership, okay? It could be a business deal. It could be that we risked a lot of money or time or energy, devotion, commitment, blood, sweat, and or tears, right? And didn't work out. So now it's kind of affected our confidence a little bit. I feel like there's now a little bit of a skittishness, a little bit of a hesitation to get involved in something else, But this is as far as it goes. You know what I mean? These two are tied together. This experience, whatever it might have been, and the fact that it's still affecting you now. Okay? It's not something that's completely done and over with that we've forgotten about and it's whatever. It's still creating this bit of trepidation in us with this 7 of Wands here. Okay? So these two are kind of down here. But I think what's going on is there is this surprise connection. I think this is coming as a shock to you even when we get these two. This is the realization that we can start again. That whatever we were trying to do with these two, that didn't work out. That wasn't meant for us. We can have a new connection with something greater, better, something that's meant for us. Right? Something that we have a more enlightened realization of. Something that we are vastly more certain of, right? Could be a connection with a person. It could be something to do with this Emperor, this Aries energy, perhaps some fire energy. Could be. It could be. I don't necessarily think so. To me, this seems more about life building, world building, right? More than it feels like it's getting into another relationship kind of thing. But maybe that's part of it, right? I don't want to discount. I don't want to eliminate that possibility. It could be that getting into a new true love soulmate relationship is part of your world building, part of you building your life back bigger, better, greater than it ever had been, right? Just as I said that, my cat starts scratching at the studio door. She hasn't been doing that the last few days, but she's back here again, so she might make an appearance. I think she can't believe this either, right? She wants to come look for herself. And that's exactly what's going on with this ace, right? The ace right here in the middle, it's like a double take, right? Even though this is, yes, it's a single sword. It's an ace of swords. So ultimately, we don't need a second look. There's no doubt about this. It's completely, it's 100% accepted, but it kind of takes you by surprise, right? So in that way, it requires a bit of a double take. But there's going to be no doubt in your mind, right? You're going to have that absolute certainty that we get with the aces. Well, there is no second choice. This is a yes. And it's a yes for love, for this Two of Cups. Could be romantic, yeah. It could be reconnecting with a person, a different company, a different part of yourself, a different career choice, career path, different life path, right? It's finding that connection, finding that significance, that meaning, that purpose in something outside of ourselves, right? As in a life path, a career, an educational track, whatever it might be. Finding something that we can commit to, yeah. And it's going to be a bit of a surprise, again, mainly for the fact that we kind of resigned ourselves to feel like, well, it's not for us. Maybe that kind of thing isn't meant for me. Maybe this kind of energy, this kind of true love, romantic or otherwise, maybe this is not for me, right? These two cards are drastically different. These two sets of cards, these two energies, these are drastically different. This is despair, this is weakness, this is a lack of confidence. This is the absolute certainty that we are committing ourselves to the absolute most wonderful thing that we can imagine right now. Right? And then, of course, when we get to the path of the serpent, it's all manifestation. It's all taking what's generated here by this realization, by this kind of surprise. Here is your new true path, your true love, your the meaning of your life. This is the highest expression of the water energy that we could ask for, right? This is spiritual love. This is such a deep connection that it defies explanation, right? And there's absolute certainty here. You have this realization, this flash of insight of the truth of it, whatever it might be. Again, a career path, something, a life path, an educational track, whatever it is, right? Some spiritual work. It can manifest in many different ways. And now we're going to talk about that manifestation, because first thing we have is the Two of Discs. Two of Discs is your readiness to change, your readiness to go from this is some rather, I don't want to say weak energy, because it is very strong, it's very severe energy, but it's very different than an ace and a two. You can hear my cat still scratching. She doesn't, the door's not shut, right? The door's wide open. I don't know why she keeps scratching. Maybe she wants me to close it. Maybe she, I don't know. She does that sometimes. I apologize if it's loud. But anyway, she's very excited about this reading, about this energy, I can tell. And so am I, because this is the ace and the two and this two. These are very close to source, right? These are ones and twos, very close. 7, 9, this is pretty far down the line. This is energy that has kind of resigned itself to be where it is. This is some energy that, to me, is really saying there's a lack of confidence and that there's a lack of hope for progress, right? We're done with this. We're done with both of these. We should just throw them off the table altogether. We're done with these. What we have now is this very enlightening experience. It is the absolute certainty that you can have the commitment to your path and that we can manifest it, that we can walk this path, right? This is the love that you feel in your heart, and this is the connection in the physical world, right? So maybe we are talking about another person. It could be, it could be perhaps an Aries person or a fire sign person generally. But the two of discs that this is the card we're on now, right? We're ready to make the choice, and there is still choice here. The twos are all about choices. You could get this kind of revelation, and this revelation could come in a flash of insight, in a dream, in a trance, in a spiritual experience. It could come just as an aha moment, a love at first sight, right? Any of these things. But you still have to choose. You can choose to ignore it. You can choose to move forward with it. If we move forward with it, things are going to change. You're setting something in motion that is going to be fulfilled to the end, right? We have another 9 here. And the 9 again is very, very far down the sequence of numbers, right? Very far down the tree of life. Almost to the 10, in fact. So this energy that we're beginning here with the 2, if we choose to follow this true love, follow our heart and our enlightened mind, right? This is heart and mind are in cahoots, right? They're in agreement. They're in harmony. They finally agree on something. If we follow this path, it's going to reach fruition. It's going to progress to the extent that we put our fire energy into it. There's no limit, is what we're trying to say, right? It's going to grow and be as abundant as we wish, as we choose. But once we get this ball rolling, then in some ways, then the real work begins, right? So the next thing we need is to have this vision. This is the Knight of Pentacles, and this is the card that's looking forward from all of this. Taking all of this energy, the past, the present, looking toward the future, gazing, right? And the power of sight is symbolized by this fire energy. It's the fiery spiritual vision, right? So this figure is looking out at the future and seeing the potential, seeing the possibilities, right? Imagining what could be here. It's like someone who's prospecting or something, or looking out at this kind of empty land, so-called empty land, and seeing all the possibilities of what could be there. Now, I'm not one to advocate for the overdevelopment of natural land and resources, but you get the idea, right? Somebody who can see into the distance of their life and visualize and imagine what could be there, right? It's tremendous. So this is what we need first of all. We need to see this opportunity, and we need to extrapolate out. What does it look like 5-10 years down the road, right? Because this new idea comes into your life, it's a bit of a shocker, and it's pretty wild, and we're excited. And we think, yes, we're going to do this. I have no doubt about it. I'm absolutely certain. Spirit has confirmed it for me. I'm choosing to go forward with this. Well, what does forward look like? Well, we need the creative juices. We need that fire energy. And that's what brings us over here to the path of the serpent. We begin with the Queen of Wands. This is your general energy. The Queen of Wands has fire as far as creativity. They're expressing creativity, but it comes from this place of love. It comes from a patient and understanding and accepting and a very compassionate center, right? So it's a very, very strong-willed energy, but it comes from a place of real love. It comes from this, right? It's that 2 of Cups that's behind this Queen of Wands. As the motivating force, everything that you do, all of your creative vision is based on this love connection, this union, whatever or whoever it is with, you and this path forward. Yeah. So everything that we do from this point on is going to have both of these, water and fire. Right? We're taking this water with us, and we are activating our creativity, our confidence, our will, our spirit, this force and fire that is ultimately going to expand this 2 into, at the very least, this 9 of Pentacles. We're going to make progress with this. It's going to be amazing how far it goes, how far we take it. Well, that's up to us. That's up to the universe, But it is expanding. Now, the next card is this Emperor energy. This is some fire energy, maybe some Aries energy involved here. This is the position of your environment. This is the position of your relationships, or it could be your relationship with the environment. So this might be resonating in a couple of different ways. One, it could be that you are feeling this empowerment, that you are taking control of your circumstances, you are taking control of your environment, and never again will you let anything like this happen. Never again will you let anything like this hold you back or keep you from your true path, your true will and love and progress, manifestation, success, financial and otherwise, health, right? All of it. Family, relationships, the entire thing. The Emperor knows the secret of manifestation, knows how that fire energy needs to be directed toward the earth energy, that the earth energy is molded by the fire, is directed by this creative fire. It's like you're at the potter's wheel, right? And you're building your vase. I've never been at a potter's wheel, but you have this intensity. You have the vision, you know what you're making, and you're just in this frenzy of creative activity. Right? I think it was the Egyptians. They had a deity that was at the potter's wheel, and that's how the world was created, right? It's just in this frenzy of creation, and there's clay and water going everywhere, and things spinning around really fast. And that's kind of, that's the fire molding the earth. Yeah. The other way this could be resonating, perhaps, is about an Aries person or a fire person generally, being someone with whom you're connecting with in your environment, okay? And then that would bring us back to this Queen of Wands, because we have that fire connection. So the two of you maybe that kind of love at first sight, the sparks that fly immediately, right? As soon as your eyes meet, it's just instantaneous chemistry and love and this, this spark, this fire passion. And then it's kind of still behind all that is this Two of Cups, right? Because that Queen. So in some ways, this is going to be, it's kind of the same thing we're talking about, right? It's us meeting with the Emperor, whether this is a version of ourselves or if it's someone external to us in the form of another person, but we're taking this love that's giving us this fire, this passion, this creativity, and this confidence. We're then merging with the Emperor, and the Emperor, again, is someone who knows how to use the earth, knows how to create, because the Emperor is the fourth mystery of the tarot, right? And 4 is the number of manifestation of solid earth, right? 4 compass points, the 4 directions, the 4 legs of a chair, all that stuff. So that's the power of creation, and that's how we're getting to this point. And the next point is the 9 of Pentacles. This is the progress. This is us, building. We can now see our life improving. We can see the benefits of this thing starting to grow around us. This is when you've been working the land for so long, and now finally you see your fruits and vegetables starting to grow. And we can start taking them and eating them and stuff. We can, make the stew or whatever. The visible signs of progress. because the 9 is an active number. It's an odd number, so it's a function, right? This is you living your best life. This is you being in the midst of this abundance as it's growing around you and you're participating in it. This is a really wonderful card. This is a really wonderful card. Now, why is it in the position of what we don't want? That is the interesting thing. This seems like it's the obstacle. And maybe that is just kind of reminiscent of this energy over here, the energy that we're done with. I think it's a callback to say, look, don't forget about this. Don't forget that we were once here. We don't want to lose this energy. Right? We don't want to, as soon as we forget about this, it kind of creeps underneath the surface. Right? And then it'll surprise us when we least expect it. That's why these cards are here. If this wasn't an issue, these cards wouldn't even be on the table. We wouldn't be talking about that energy. So it's a reminder to, yes, move on. Let's focus on the future, but we can't forget the experiences that we've had. We can't forget that energy. Otherwise, it's going to wreak some havoc in the future. Okay. So the 9 of Pentacles being the card that the energy that is in the position of what we don't want, because there's still that connection that we have here that doesn't want to get hurt again, doesn't want to have risk, right? Doesn't want to go through this again, so maybe we don't want the progress. So there's part of us that's still kind of timid, right? Because we get this progress and then it's taken away and then we're back in this energy here. We don't want to be here. So are we going to avoid this? Well, this card's here to say you may not want that energy, but you need that energy. This is meant for you, and we see that kind of reinforced by this Prince of Pentacles at the very end of the path of the Serpent. Because this is you doing that work. This is you maintaining this activity. You know, this isn't something that is just happening to you. It's not a gift. It's not charity. It's not abundance that's just kind of growing, growing your way. You're out there tending the garden. You're out here making it work, living in harmony with this, whatever it is, keeping it growing. So this is kind of like, as long as you're attentive, as long as you do the work, as long as you're committed and you try to work in harmony with nature, you're on the right path. And there's no guarantees, right? This energy back here, this is still a risk. Of course, it always will be. Nothing is 100% guaranteed. But I think as long as we can do our part to maintain this progress, we should be okay. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Our alien has done quite a nice job of taking care of that mystery card for us. But let's see what Simon says. I don't know what I'm expecting here, to be honest. We could see something like a 10 of Pentacles, right? To say that this progress is going to keep on progressing. As long as we're willing to continue doing the work, it's going to benefit us. But rather than worrying about us getting back to these two energies, let's just enjoy it, right? Let's enjoy what we have. Let's enjoy this future that we're building, even though there's always the possibility that it's going to end at some point, right? So I think this is going to be maybe a 10 of Pentacles, to show us that despite the inevitable end of everything, we're going to enjoy what we're doing now. This is the card that is living its best life, knowing that there are going to be obstacles. We're going to be hurt again at some point in our life. We're going to feel loss at some point again. But in the meantime, let's live our best life. So I'm thinking Ten of Pentacles. Aha! It's a 10, but of cups. That is interesting. Because we started with this 2 of cups, and we didn't see much, no other water around, right? So it's not so much about the physical abundance, you know, the money or the things, the physical stuff being taken away. It's about the emotional pain. It's about the turmoil in our hearts being taken away. So this is the card, the 10 of Cups. That's the card that says, we're going to live happily ever after, right? Even if things change, even if and when I get hurt again or I suffer loss, even if all of this progress is taken away, I'm still living happily ever after. I'm going to enjoy this feeling while it lasts, right? This is the joy and appreciation of you living your best life. Now, everything that you're building could turn to dust, right? But maybe you're creating something eternal. Maybe you're creating a joy, a sense of love and appreciation that transcends the material world, the things that have to perish and turn to dust, right? We're creating memories, we're creating bonds, we're creating love. Even though, yes, we may get hurt again at some point. Probably we will. But we're going to enjoy it while it lasts. And maybe this is our happily ever after, and I think that's worth the risk. Because we're starting with this 2 of Cups. We're starting from a very pure place. We're starting from the very beginning again, essentially. So we have the chance now to do it the right way and stay focused on it, you know. And I think this is going to be good. I'm very happy about this. We're going to do an extended. If you would like to stick around, click on the link up there. That will give you access to every extended reading, not just Libra, for every sign. I want to thank you for being here. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for letting me read for you. And thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.